This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/blokes to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 4 months for free. 4 months for free. That's not too shabby, is it?
Pretty good deal.
It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. I like VPNs. Personally, I do actually use NordVPN.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's an absolutely quality product. It really is. And apparently it's in over 60 countries throughout the world as well. 5,000 servers. So it's keeping your data and your online security, identity security. Yeah. Absolutely top notch.
There's loads of security features on there that are absolutely amazing that I haven't used yet. Yeah, if I'm being completely honest.
There's a lot to go at.
What I do is I just switch to the USA and watch Netflix, and there's certain things that aren't available on UK Netflix that are over there, and that's the main thing I use it for, to be honest.
And obviously you can get it on Android, iOS. There's a load of operating systems that you can use it on as well, so it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, really good.
I mean, why wouldn't you at this point? So yeah, don't forget that is head to nordvpn/blokes. You get an amazing deal. You get a huge discount off, and you get 4 free months at the end of the plan as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no brainer. Don't forget, do that, guys. You can click the link below as well, and it'll take you where you need to go.
Brilliant.
Cheers, guys.
Awesome.
Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike. Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively, we're the Office Blokes.
We are indeed.
Have you ever broken the rules?
Me,
Either of you two?
What, sports-wise?
Just in general, a rule ever?
Sports-wise,
probably.
never.
Yeah.
I think we're all pretty straight up people. Never broken rules. Never done anything naughty.
I'm not a rule breaker.
No.
Try and stick by it.
I sort of have. I scored with my hand once playing football.
Hand of God.
Oh man, you didn't hand up. You didn't own up.
No, I sort of stood there. I was like, I handballed. Went to one of our players. Said I handballed it. I said, it's a goal, mate. The referee didn't see it. I didn't mean it. I just sort of turned around, hit my arm, went in the net.
Thierry Henry.
Yeah. Best thing was it's for me hat trick, so I thought, I'll have it then.
I took a dive to get a hat trick once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So you've broken the rules as well?
In football.
Mine was an accident, though. Yeah. I think in football we all break rules, without a doubt.
Never broken a rule in my life. Don't know what you're talking about. All those points on my license and the speed awareness courses, they were fake.
Oh, really?
That's real.
Yeah. You never gone down the ramp the wrong way on your skateboard?
There are no rules in skateboarding.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Badass.
Bit of JxmyHighroller. Love this channel.
Yeah,
makes absolutely amazing videos.
Yep.
Even for a non-basketball fan. So interesting, well edited, music choice, research, everything. It's just a really good YouTuber.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So this is when you break the rules and get away with it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. We'll get straight into it then. When you break the rules and get away with it.
No way he's one-on-one this bitch.
Traveling.
That's what he's give it.
Well, that sucks. Game is all tied up with seconds left on the clock, and this kid pulls off every hooper's dream of knocking down a game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer, just to have it called off by the ref. And most basketball fans who saw this video agreed that this move was in fact a travel. As tragic as this call was, it was the correct one. But if this is a travel, then so is this, and this, and this.
Is it because he kind of took a step to adjust his position and then took a couple more steps before he took the shot? So
yeah, is it 2 steps you're allowed?
I'm not sure. I'm not well up on travelling.
Two or three, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. I'm not too clued up on the rule on that.
It looks like a really
the way they're showing
one
the way they're showing the rules here. Everyone's taking 1 step, aren't they?
Yeah,
like a big step.
But at what point does the ball stop being bounced?
That's what I'm saying. If they're holding it and taking a step, is that classed as travelling? I don't know. I don't know if that 1 step is because the ball's not being bounced; it's in your hand.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know the rule.
I guess. I mean, he's saying that was a good call, but I mean, it just
saying it's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's saying so are these then.
Yeah.
And this, and all of these. NBA players don't have to follow the rules. I mean, they used to, but they don't anymore. Because according to them, they don't have to.
I don't want to keep pausing it this early on, and also that's part of the actual shot he's taking. You could argue that the last step was kind of doing that because he moved his foot before he jumped.
No, he kind of moved to make a position, then went.
Yeah, so there's like a couple of steps to get your position, and then like almost you could argue a step as part of the shot.
I don't know if they've already had the steps when they're bouncing it. I don't know if that's how they. I don't know the rules, so I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
But what you found there, the referee in the first game was looked like high school or something like that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas they're talking about the NBA. You know,
It looks a really difficult thing to judge. Stuff like
Very,
that.
yeah.
you've got to know the rule, haven't you?
Yeah.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. Basketball season is set to tip off this week. The NBA and all of its glory is back, and this season you don't need to be on the court to get in on the action because DraftKings is dishing out a can't-miss offer to new customers. All you need to do is sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook using promo code JxmyHighroller, bet $5 on any pre-game moneyline wager, and receive an additional $200 in free bets if your bet cashes. No, your eyes do not deceive you. New customers who bet just $5 on any team to win straight up will get an additional $200 in free bets if their bet hits. It doesn't get any easier than this. And with same-game parlays, you can combine multiple bets from the same game to give yourself a shot at even bigger winnings all season long. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, new customers use promo code JxmyHighroller, and receive $200 in free bets if your pre-game moneyline hits after placing a $5 wager. That's promo code JxmyHighroller only at DraftKings Sportsbook. In 2019, on the Raptors' road to a championship, Kawhi Leonard hit one of the greatest shots in NBA history.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
A 20-foot fadeaway buzzer beater over Joel Embiid to win Game 7 in the second round of the playoffs.
Wow.
This shot has been cemented as a career-defining moment for Kawhi and the catalyst to one of the most legendary title runs in recent NBA history. But it never should have happened. See, run the tape back. Right about here. 1, 2, 3 steps without ever dribbling the ball. Kawhi Leonard traveled on this play. This should have been a turnover with 4 seconds left on the clock. How did the refs miss this call?
Third step, the ball was on its way to the ground.
Didn't see it. Might have still been in his hand.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
how
thing that
quick
was.
you've got to be, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean,
That's what was throwing me with the
difficult
other
to
ones.
pick up.
There's a different angle from it.
This is Jason Phillips, 21-year vet as an
look, it's not
NBA
on the
official.
ground, look.
He's refed over 1,100 games. He's looking
That's
right
the
at
first
it.
step, though,
He
isn't
must
it?
have just not seen
No.
Kawhi take an extra step, right? Or maybe he just didn't want to be the guy to call a travel on a mega superstar in a Game 7 of the playoffs. Either way, the call was missed and the Raptors now have a championship banner hanging in their rafters. But this isn't the first, nor the last time a player has gotten away with breaking the rules in a crucial moment. This Stephen Curry dagger in the 2019 playoffs against the Rockets was a carry. You can see it right here. He dribbles, does a hop step while carrying the ball, then crosses over. This should have been a turnover. Or what about Devin Booker's game-winning shot in the 2020 playoffs against the Clippers? One of the highlights of his career. Well, that shot came off of a travel. Just look for yourself. 1, 2, 3 steps. Picks up his pivot foot. 4. Go back and look at some of the best displays of footwork and handles over the last half-decade, and you'd be blown away by just how many moves NBA players use on a consistent basis that involve traveling and carrying. It's shocking. At least from a fan's perspective it is, but to the players, this is all part of the game. A few months ago, a fan shared a clip of Ja Morant conjuring up one of the most egregious travel and carry jobs you'll ever see. And this fan did not hold back, saying Ja Morant carries the ball on pretty much every possession and it never gets called. Right below this post, Donovan Mitchell chimed in with 4 simple words: "We all do it." And Mitchell is right. Nearly every single perimeter player in the NBA travels or carries a lot. Not in some inconsequential way, not every once in a while. It happens all the time, every game, especially in ISO possessions where you'll see players bend and break the rules virtually every single time. Now, these travels and carries are not to be confused with the zero step or gather step that has ran rampant over the last half-decade. Popularized by James Harden, if a player times their gather step well enough, they can get away with an extra step on their way to a shot. Like this play right here, where Terry Rozier gathers the ball at the exact moment that he takes his gather step, which allows him to take 2 more steps without getting called called for a travel. This also applies to most step-back jumpers. Gather, 0 step, 1, 2.
That's kind of what I was pointing out at the beginning of the video. I kind of felt like it wasn't a legit step.
Yeah. It's something like, I think he said it on there. It's your pivot foot, he said.
Right.
So I guess when you move your pivot foot, that becomes a step.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just, I mean, I was wondering before whether they do it on purpose or whether it's just, you know, it was just subconscious. But it sounds to me like they know that they all do it, and maybe some of the moves that they do, I'm getting to where I think that they probably practice it and actually do it on purpose because they know they're going to get away with it. Certain moves where they're going past people there, where I think in training they probably do just practice traveling.
This is high level though, isn't it? And it's
because they're not getting called for it, are they?
In the game, no, they're not getting called. But the other side of it is what he said at the beginning there. He said, did the referee just not want to call a high-profile player in a high-profile match for traveling? You know, and that's kind of like we go through it. We say the same thing over here.
Absolutely,
in But it's one of them as well. When you're in the game and you're going at such speed, it's hard to pick up sometimes.
It's marginal, isn't it?
Like you could be stopping. You could be stopping the game every 2 seconds with this.
Yeah, of course you could. Yeah,
I think a lot of the excitement of the game is going to be in these little moves though as well.
Yeah.
So if you take that out and there is no carries being let go and slight little travels here and there, it's probably going to be a bit dull.
But the other side of it is someone will let us know in the comments on this. Were these being done or being called 15 years ago? Or is it in a modern game? Because the modern game stats, some of them are blowing out like older stats.
Right, so you think they might be letting a bit more go these days?
Which is giving players better stats.
Yeah, and also makes the game more exciting.
Possibly.
We aren't talking about these moves. We're talking about moves like this. Ja Morant dribbles, takes 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, carries the ball, and then takes a 4th step before dribbling again and finishing at the rim. And you may think, this move right here, this is an outlier. But it's not. Moves like this happen virtually every other possession in the NBA. Take this play by Jordan Poole. He's coming off a dribble. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, before he dribbles again. But wait, he's not done. He burns Jordan Clarkson on the in and out. Dribbles, takes 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. That's 2 violations in the same combo to create space from his defender. This is an epidemic. But if everyone does it, then why should it matter? The game has changed. Clearly the refs don't care, so why should we? Well, take this play by Kemba Walker.
Oh, Walker, a little shake and bake, throws it up and Robinson.
Walker's got Sadiq Bey on an island, so he hits him with a quick pullback to create space. This is fine. Walker's got separation and an open shot. But no, he takes 1, 2, 3, 4 steps while carrying the ball, forcing Sadiq to close out, and then he blows by him. As a defender, if you see the offense take 2, even 3 steps backwards, you know they have to commit to a shot or a pass. They have nowhere left to go. They've used all of their steps. But when the offense can just suspend the ball indefinitely and just take another step to blow right past you, how exactly are you supposed to defend this? It's the same general concept being used on most of these moves. Whether the player is using a 0 step, a pocket dribble, a hesitation, most of the time, these moves are breaking some sort of rule. And when the defense sees a player hold the ball like this, they know they can close out strong because they know the offense either has to shoot the ball or pass the ball. Or at least they used to, before moves like this became perfectly legal in the NBA. And there lies the problem with players being allowed to use these moves in games. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, the league made an example out of Allen Iverson by having officials go out of their way to call carrying violations on him. Moves that by today's standards would be considered fairly simple and textbook were constantly being called as travels and carries. Just look at this call right here.
And now they call holding the ball. I'm going to tell you what that was.
That answers my question about whether it was being called.
It does.
He was one of my favourite players of all time.
Really?
Yeah, Allen Iverson.
I think that also shows that if, like, the crowd response there, if they're calling things like that too much, the game's more stop-start. I think that will take some of the excitement out of it.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Something special was about to happen potentially, and suddenly it's like, nope.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just
that's
cutting the
getting
action.
called all the time during a game, like I said, it's going to be a lot more stop-start, isn't it? Because this season in our football, they're trying to cut down on the free kicks, aren't they, by letting a bit more physical sort of contacts, shall we say, go, which, you know, generally has made it better. So you're not getting as many fouls.
Yeah.
I think the football is flowing better, which is what people like. But maybe that's one of the, this is sort of like a subconscious rule that They'll actually change the rule, have they, to say you can travel further with it. It's just something that they're sort of like letting go.
I think they'll have had discussions, with the refs.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, the NBA is the commissioner and the whole NBA would get together to make a call on that sort of thing, to either speed the game up or make it a bit more fluid.
Yeah,
if you want. But yeah, my grandson's named after him, Allen Iverson. His middle name's Iverson.
Oh, right. Yes, I was trying to think who's Alan.
Yeah. It's Arlo.
Yeah.
That's the.
Of course.
Nice one.
A guy with a Steve jab, you don't shake your head while you're dribbling the ball to half court when you think he should have got a foul. I mean, he does that every time down the floor.
He does that every time he puts it on the floor.
Yeah.
You see it? It's so insignificant that it's hard to even notice. But this move right here was called a carry back in 2001. Here's another clip from the late 90s, and just listen to how the commentators talk about Allen Iverson's game.
Look at that. Down the lane, put it off. Hendrickson with the rebound, puts that one in. Let's see if you can see this, John. Let's watch Allen Iverson with the ball handling and see if you think this is close to a carry. I mean, look at that. You can't make that move and not carry the ball.
Again, by today's standards, what Iverson is doing here isn't even worth noting. In fact, in 2022, this is fundamental basketball. But 25 years ago, this type of ball handling was considered borderline street ball. These guys would have had a stroke if they saw what players today got away with. When you can bend the rules and even outright break the rules to manipulate the defense and score a bucket, the game completely changes. 20 years ago, there were only 8 players in the entire league that averaged over 23 points per game. Every single one of them were all-time great players, and only 5 of them were perimeter players. Fast forward to 2021, and a whopping 22 players averaged at least 23 points per game league-wide, and 16 of them were perimeter players. Part of this is due to players simply being more skilled than their predecessors. But just as big of a factor is the fact that perimeter players get a lot more leeway with the rules these days than they used to. It's not like Tracy McGrady or Gilbert Arenas or Paul Pierce didn't have the handle to pull off these moves. It's that they simply weren't allowed to do these moves. Listen to how commentators believed this was a travel back in the late 80s.
Darwin Cook on Jordan, no chance. Oh, my!
Oh, they're jumping in the stands. Now
there.
what?
See his left foot, I thought, moved.
No.
Imagine what some past all-time greats could have done if they were allowed to get away with what players today get away with. Here's a clip of Kobe putting on a footwork clinic without bending the rules. The fact that Kobe was so effective and so creative within the confines of strict rules makes it all the more impressive. The same could be said about Tim Hardaway, who patented his killer crossover in the 90s. Dude had defenders absolutely lost from a simple but effective crossover. Imagine what players like Hardaway, Marbury, Steve Francis, and Chauncey Billups could have done if they were able to take an extra step or two and hold the ball for a split second longer to break down the defense. A lot of these former players are justified in saying that the rules have been loosened so drastically over the last decade that they would have been even more dominant in today's game. So, if the players know they break the rules, why don't the officials seem to care, and why does the NBA allow this to go on? Well, for one simple reason. It's exciting. Is there anything better than a crossover that sends a player flying 10 feet in the wrong direction? What's more exciting than a well-executed hezzy that makes a defender look absolutely foolish? Looser rules means more action. More action means more points. More points means more superstars. More superstars, the more marketable the product is. Last season, the NBA clamped down on some rules that, for once, would favor the defense and punish bad offense. One of those rules was to crack down on intentionally baiting foul calls while shooting. And instantaneously, players across the league saw a massive dip in their offensive production. Some fans enjoyed this change, but a lot of players didn't. And so the NBA loosened the rule again and scoring shot right back up. Looser rules makes good players look like great players. It makes slightly marketable talent into extremely marketable talent. See, you or I could never pull off this move without being called for every violation in the rulebook. But we're not in the NBA. And don't get me wrong, not every highlight move you see in the NBA is a violation of some rule. Look at this madness from Jordan Poole right here. There's a lot going on, and not once does he travel or carry. Here's some more witchcraft by Kyrie Irving, where he shreds an entire defense and does it completely clean. It can be done. But when it isn't, most fans in the league as a whole are more than willing to turn a blind eye to it. Because what Allen Iverson proved 25 years ago still remains true to this day.
And a foul will go on Judd Bushler. Lou Canellis is sitting by. What do you got, Lou?
I wanted to add something on Iverson's move. They have called it a number of times here in the league, and that's why the guy's averaging almost 5 turnovers a game, Tom. But also take into account this. That is his signature move, and if he is going to be truly one of the up-and-coming stars that's going to represent the league, they're going to let him get away with it more times than not. You're exactly right. I think that dribble there is a carry every single time he goes to the basket. But, like I said, it's his signature move, and they're going to let him get away with it.
Again, great video.
Which really was, wasn't it?
Yeah, superb video.
Gives us a great education on basketball, really. None of us are really basketball fans as such.
I would never before spot anything like that. Yeah. I really wouldn't.
I still struggle to see the difference between some of the legal ones he was saying
it's
there
so quick, isn't
and some of the illegal ones. It's so subtle.
Some of the handwork there is absolutely amazing.
You got to just keep moving while you're bouncing out.
Yeah,
that's right.
But it's breaking down at what point are you not dribbling and what
turns up in the end, you're carrying it.
What constitutes a step as well, because there's these little, like, what did he call it, a zero step or something.
Sometimes it's like a feint, isn't it? And maybe the foot might move slightly. You know, it's very subtle sometimes.
Your footwork to fake and go one way to another way might involve, subtle, really quick like that could be classed
still steps, but you still need to ball still needs to
be
downwards.
I know, but it's all happening so fast that I'm sure there is a bit of a grey area as to what a step actually is to a degree. Because you could argue that someone's off balance to just righted himself by moving their foot slightly,
still a step,
rather than a. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Then they'll start. If that was the case, they'll still practice then how to make it look like they're off balance.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can't change rules. Say instead of what's it up to? It's 3 steps at the moment.
Yeah.
They can't change it to say 4 or 5, can they? Because then people start doing like 6 or 7, won't they? So,
yeah, with the reach of these guys, how long the legs are. 6 or 7 would be one end of the court.
Scoring when they broke down the defensive change, the scoring change, then
Yeah,
big difference, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It's just
it's a really interesting video. That.
Yeah, I've always liked bouncing a basketball around, but none of us grew up playing basketball. We're not basketball players, and don't particularly grow up watching it in this country either. But this is so watchable and so interesting, these videos, that it's just anyone, I think, could watch that and be interested.
Yeah, you'd have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, great video.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed that too. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.